मेरे होते हैं ना जो भी तुम खुलावा है जो भी होता है आप सिलेक्ट करते हो। या तो आपने अपनी ऑल स्क्रीन सेलेक्ट कर दी तो जो भी आप कर दें वो भी सब मेरे होते हैं ना जो भी तुम खुलावा है जो भी होता है आप सिलेक्ट करते हो। या तो आपने अपनी
I get out of this. हाँ जी, वालेकुम। बस अभी 2 मिनट में हम वो दर्स शुरू करने वाले हैं। आ जाओ अगर वक्त हो। शूट। हाँ जी जनाब। हेलो, शेख मोहम्मद अशरफ का आला तरीन लॉकडाउन छपा हुआ है लाहौर का। जनाब इट्स द स्टैंडर्ड वर्जन, आप वहीं से ले लीजिए। और मैं आपको भेज रहा हूँ जूम की, ठीक है।
सर अस्सलाम वालेकुम।
वालेकुम अस्सलाम। हेलो,
अस्सलाम वालेकुम जी।
लॉन्ग
Nice.
टाइम।
जी, nice to see you, sir.
थैंक यू।
Okay.
जी, अस्सलाम वालेकुम अब्बास साहब.
Hello, Assalamu alaikum. How are you?
Oh, I can't hear you. Sorry.
Okay, can you hear me now?
जी, अस्सलाम वालेकुम.
Walaikum salam.
It's been a long time. We've been missing you.
Yes, I've
Yeah.
been missing you too.
I know. But
Mashallah.
we know,
Yeah,
if you don't have the class, we know you're extra busy. So
yeah.
we keep
Yes.
quiet.
The conditions of the city, conditions of the country,
Oh yes, it's really bad.
it's been awful. It's been
Awful, really awful. Every day we hear some some bad news.
true.
Allah khair kare sabka.
Okay, true.
अस्सलाम वालेकुम.
जी वालेकुम सलाम. माशाल्लाह, वेलकम. पहली
After
बार आ रही हैं आप आज. हेलो शाइना, अस्सलाम वालेकुम.
मेरे ख्याल है आवाज में कुछ इश्यू है.
नहीं, अब मैं आपको सुन रहा हूँ, बताइए. आर यू ऑलराइट?
अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह. After
Good,
a
good.
long time listening to you, inshallah.
Yes, inshallah. Welcome.
Good. अच्छा, I was about to send you the message कि बहुत दिन हो गए इस किस्म की कोई एक्टिविटी नहीं हुई, कुछ लर्निंग नहीं हुई, लेकिन अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह आज मौका मिल
बस
गया.
आज ही हो गई. थैंक यू. सही है. गुड.
जज़ाकल्लाह.
माशाल्लाह. I notice it is 9 o'clock. आइए जी, बिस्मिल्लाह करते हैं तिलावत सूरह मुबारका से. अच्छा जी.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إذا السماء انشقت وأذنت لربها وحقت وإذا الأرض مدت وألقت ما فيها وتخلت وأذنت لربها وحقت. يا أيها الإنسان إنك كادح إلى ربك كدحا فملاقيه. فأما من أوتي كتابه بيمينه فسوف يحاسب حسابا يسيرا وينقلب إلى أهله مسرورا. وأما من أوتي كتابه وراء ظهره فسوف يدعو ثبورا ويصلى سعيرا. إنه كان في أهله مسرورا. إنه ظن أن لن يحور بلى إن ربه كان به بصيرا. فلا أقسم بالشفق والليل وما وسق والقمر إذا اتسق لتركبن طبقا عن طبق فما لهم لا يؤمنون. وإذا قرئ عليهم القرآن لا يسجدون بل الذين كفروا يكذبون. والله أعلم بما يوعون فبشرهم بعذاب أليم. إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات لهم أجر غير ممنون.
Sadaqallahu Mawlana al-Azim. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Auzu billahi samil alim minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Welcome to this gathering. We are meeting after a long time. This is our session of September 2021 when we look at chapter 84, Sura was-Sama'i wash-Shaqqat. With the chat function, can you please indicate that you can hear me completely? Gee, mashallah. Okay. So people are able to hear me. Thank you very much. Thank you. This, yes, good. This little bit of technology. Yes, I would like to say welcome to people from near and far. Welcome to people who are in Karachi. These are my diehard fans. Hello, Sadia. Hello, Fazila. Hello, Adnan. Hello, Shaina. Welcome. And to Tahia. I have someone from Canada, which is Parveen. Welcome, Parveen. And I have someone here from Lahore, I think. And mashallah, yes, good, Theek. Since we are meeting after a long time, to pick up the threads from where we had paused, I will need to quickly give you a sense of the last surah we did, which was chapter 83. That is Surah Tatfif. And it was all about the weights. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala being extremely insistent on the human need for justice, because it is a divine commandment for justice. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is very clear that I would like people to weigh correctly. And that was that whole issue of tatfif, mutaffifin. Those who weigh, when it is in their favor, they weigh more. And when it is against them, they wrangle the scales, that kind of thing. We did that in great detail. And this one, this surah, short surah, the entire surah recital took in Qari Mishri's brilliant voice about 2 minutes and 44 seconds. And it is only 28 verses. Yeah, just a moment. Yeah. So then we are going to take a look at a very strange, when I say strange, one, sorry, I was actually doing this research. Yeah, sure. Here. Okay. Since it has been a while and some of my usual team members are not in town, some of the things have gone a bit. I apologize. I think by tomorrow or later tonight, I will zap you the English translation of Abdul Halim. You will be able to have that. But today we are just going to do the opening 6 verses, 7, and we will be able to, 6. And today's session will be about only these 6 verses. Let us quickly take a look. Short and sharp. This is a Makkan Surah, and in its emphasis, as you will immediately see, the emphasis is on the day of judgment, reckoning, hisab, uh, and therefore justice. And in that, the effort will be to look at Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's jalal. This surah is a jalali surah, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala correctly is saying, take care, for this is a very serious business. Okay. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Is a sama ishaqqat. When the sky is rent asunder, and hearkens to the command of its Lord as it must. I'm going to be spending a while on this. وَإِذَنْتَ لِرَبِّهَا وَحُقَّتْ. अपने रब की आवाज वो सुनता है, कसम है जब आसमान फट जाएगी, शक्कत. From there we have the word inshiqaq, which is a form of the word which is in the opening ayah, to rent asunder, split asunder. When the sky is split asunder, and it will do so by the command of its Lord, وَحُقَّتْ, as it must. This word will be important for us. We will come to this because it is repeated again in a verse later. وَإِذَا الْأَرْضُ مُدَّتْ وَالْقَتْ مَا فِيهَا وَتَخَلَّتْ وَإِذَا أَنْتَ لِرَبِّهَا وَحُقَّتْ. There we have the verse 5, repeating verse 2 once again. Let's see. And when the earth is flattened out, when the earth is flattened out and casts forth what is within it and becomes empty. The image is marvelous, really, when the earth is flattened out and throws up whatever is in it. Inshallah, when we go to later surah, we have this very graphic image that the earth will vomit out, will spit out what is in it. So that then is the point here. And then it says, and it listens to the command of the Lord as it must. وَحُقَّتْ. So we have 5 verses giving us the heavens and the earth going awry. The heavens and the earth, let's say, changing what human beings see to be the norm, changing that. And then we have Ya ayyuhal insan innaka kadihun ila rabbika qadhan famulaqih. O man, O insan, O mankind, O humanity, verily innaka kadihun, struggling. You are struggling. Verily, you are working hard. Yusuf Ali uses the word toiling. Lovely word. Toiling. Ila rabbika qadhan. By the double use of the word qadhan, we are given the sense of toil. I will be spending some time on this word again, and this is the sequence we will be studying today. You are toiling wearily, painfully, with great difficulty. You are toiling ila rabbika, towards your Lord. You are toiling towards your Lord for mulaqih. You will meet. You will meet there. तुम्हारी मुलाकात होगी तुम्हारे रब के साथ. Then you will be before your Lord face. O man, O humanity, O each individual human, every human, each one, you are toiling and struggling to meet your Lord. So we have here a dramatic image. When the skies rent asunder, and when the sky does, when the heavens do what they are commanded to do as they must, وَحُقَّتْ, they must, and when the earth shall disgorge its burden after being flattened out as it must, O mankind, O humanity, O each person, you are toiling wearily towards your Lord, and you will meet there. Yani, ऐसा लगता है that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is basically, now let's look at this. We are given a situation that humanity's life at this moment is a constant toiling towards the Lord. And that will happen when the skies rent asunder and the earth disgorges. Yani, so now we have this clarity कि अपने रब से मुलाकात का वक्त, अपने रब से मुलाकात का वक्त आसमान के फट जाने से और जमीन से चीजों के बाहर आने का, गोया क़यामत का एक पूरा मंजर है. This is an image of the last day. The toil will come to an end. Your fatigue and your misery will come to an end when you will meet your Lord face to face. So this then is one of the first nuances that emerges from it. You are toiling to meet your Lord. Now, as the later parts of the surah will do, but we know this from the Quran, we know this from the back, from the beginning, we know this, that there are those who deny this meeting. There are those who don't believe in this. There are those who deny God exists. There are those who deny कि क़यामत होने वाली भी है कि नहीं है, पता नहीं. So here then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is making an absolute certainty that whether you are a believer or a disbeliever, whether you've turned your back unto Allah or you have not, your meeting with the Lord is guaranteed. It is just as sure as when the skies rent asunder and it will obey, and when the earth being flattened out will disgorge its burden as it must. Yani, I'm reiterating this over and over again, try and show a number of things. Okay, let us now take a look at some of the dimensions of this to the degree. As long as I am on earth, the sky is a very great reality above me. It is the canopy that covers me. It is something which completely surrounds my being, the sky. And when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, when the skies rent asunder, when Allah ta'ala says, when the skies rent asunder, it shows that there is one greater in power than the sky. Yani, परवरदिगार की अजमत इससे और खूबसूरती से बताई नहीं जा सकती कि तुम जिस चीज को अपने लिए इतना बड़ा, इतना द बाउंडलेस स्काई तुम जिसको कहते हो, जिसमें इतने कहकशान, इतने सूरज, इतने it is so many galaxies, such incredible amounts of matter. When all that is obedient, then the creator is greater than the creation. So जितनी भी magnificence हो creation में, आपने ये हुक्कत के वर्ड के पीछे ये हकीकत हमने सामने रखनी है कि उसने अपने रब की बात पर हुक्म की तामील करनी ही है. The sky is going to obey the command of the Lord, and it will be torn asunder. उसके we इस पर बातें हैं बहुत. Masters have said a lot of things. I'll be briefly referring to that. उसका हक है that this canopy of the heavens will fritter away, will break away. Friends, we need a different kind of imagination to be able to figure this out. Let me share with you. For centuries, eons, the galaxies on the sky and the constellations on the heavens have been the only thing that have stayed put. For a moment, consider this. आसमान के तमाम सैयारे अपनी जगह पर हैं for hundreds of years for the measurements to remain in place. On earth, everything has moved. Sand dunes have moved, earthquakes have moved, earthquakes have made rivers change their courses, mountains move from their places, sand dunes have shifted, the various ways of water has shifted. We know this. That's easy. But the heavens have always remained. The constellations have remained in place for eons of time. The constellation of stars that we know under various names, the zodiac signs, Aries and Taurus and Gemini, all these have remained in place. And here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, they will be gone, all right, they will be scattered. So when you consider this, that's something which is of enormous certainty that it is going to stay put and remain in place. When that will move, you can now see what a remarkable genius, what a remarkable humility it emerges in the heart to say, this is the Lord I will be meeting. ये वो रब है जिससे मुलाकात होनी ही है. यानी what I marvel at is the use of the word Rab repeated. आप जरा सा, when you look it up, you take a look at this. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. إذا السماء انشقت وإذا انطلق ربها وحقت. Okay. وإذا الأرض مدت والقت ما فيها وتخلت وإذا انطلق ربها وحقت. So अभी जमीन पर आते हैं. We'll come to that. It has heard the command of its Lord, Rabb, and it must. Ya ayyuhal insan innaka qadihun ila rabbika qadhan famulaqi. So we see that the word Rabb occurring in every second verse, step by step, gives us this incredible grandeur. This is the being whom you are going to meet. ये हस्ती जिसके हुक्म से आसमान फट जाएगा, ये है जिसके साथ उन्हें मुलाकात कर. So from one point of view, we see with crushing humility the grandeur of the Lord, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. एक grandeur का हमें एक sense आता. At the same time, क्योंकि अल्लाह ताला की लैंग्वेज का और इंसान का भी कमाल है, यही वो रब है जो इंसान से मुखातब है. Consider this. Ya ayyuhal insan. This is the Lord who is addressing mankind. लिहाजा इसमें इंसान की इज्जत क्या कमाल है, क्या तो मर्तबा है इंसान का कि रब ताला उससे मुखातब है. अल्लाह ताला is speaking, is talking, considers him worth talking. So just as man is worthy to stand before the Lord is worthy of being obeyed by the heavens and the earth. Wallah, this little sequence has been of great difficulty for me over these days as I struggled with its meaning. إِنَّكَ كَادِحٌ إِلَى رَبِّكَ قَدْحًا فَمُلَاقِيهِ. Oh man, verily you are ever toiling on towards the Lord, painfully toiling, but thou shalt meet him. Abdullah Yusuf Ali seems to be almost stretching the limits of language to try and capture the meaning of the word kadaha. He is trying to capture this. Now we will be zooming in on this. What? Since this surah has in it elements, I mean, there are those who argue कि कलाम पाक के कमालात में से एक ये है. And if we didn't have arguments that the Quran could have only 114 surahs, there are those who argue that from the middle of this surah, it could have been another. And that's a very, very strange argument. From verse number 16, people have said that it could have been a separate surah. It's an editorial thing. These are the revisionists who argue about the Quran in different ways. Not our argument. We shall see that this surah forms a brilliant unity and a brilliant whole. Okay, so what exactly is the point here? The word kadaha, आइए जरा सा इसके मीनिंग पे गौर करें. The word kadaha actually means abrasion. Suffering as a result of friction. So when I rub my skin with sandpaper, that is kadaha. कदहा is किसी चीज की रगड़ से दुख और तकलीफ का पैदा. That's the root. How lovely for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to describe our journey unto him. What he's saying is that from the moment you were born, just about everything you did come towards me involved some kind of pain, some kind of suffering. And this dark side of living is one of the most bitter, and yet those who know, one of the most pleasant truths of this journey. Let me expand on this. When I decide to achieve a very simple, shall we say, human achievement, one does not need to go very far. We've just had the Olympics, and we've seen the superhuman physical strength and fatigue that people have endured in order to achieve the gold medal, the silver medal, the bronze medal in this world. यानी जरा एक मिनट के लिए गौर करें. दुनिया में एक ओलंपिक मेडल हासिल करने के लिए किस किस्म की थकावट, सफरिंग, एक्सरसाइज, वर्जिश, ऑलमोस्ट स्ट्रेचिंग द लिमिट्स ऑफ ह्यूमन एंड्योरेंस हमारे स्पोर्ट्स पे वर्ल्ड वाइड तमाम स्पोर्ट्समैन ने बर्दाश्त की है, so that उन्हें वो achievement और वो दाद perfect. The dad is given from the heart. So if for the sake of a gold medal, and I remember a scholar narrating this strangely, a scholar was saying, making a distinction between teachers achievement and the Olympics, that the sports person, the sportsman who joins the Olympics, what kind of deprivations he or she has given herself, himself, for 4 years, for the sake of these few minutes of effort, for the sake of a medal. And that medal is given, and then it is put in a very nice case. It remains in the drawing room, and it becomes the talk of every guest who walks into the house. Mubashan, shabash, great stuff. How long? 6 months, 7 months, a year, 2 years. And then it is slowly there and there. And in contrast, the way a teacher has made an impact on a human heart, and the way a teacher molds a human being, a young child, and gives meaning and purpose and vision and direction, and that goes on for decades. What a brilliant. The kind of sacrifice and the effort that a teacher puts in changing this raw material into a civilized, cultured human being has no end to the consequences that follow. Really. So, Ya ayyuhal insan innaka kadih. It is part of your being human that some suffering is embedded in your life plan already. There is no question of you managing to achieve any greatness, any height, without going through this painful toil, this rubbing against your skin, this pain against this abrasion, this bruise that you need to suffer. But I have only mentioned the physical things. Masters who have studied these things say there are 4. There are more. That picture will open up somewhere else, but abhi ke liye 4. If I need to progress physically, I need to go through physical endurance. Oh, easy. Then there is the jism, the nafs, the qalb, the ruh. So we have these. What then would be the qadaha for the nafs? Do I need to say anything? तमाम तालीमात हमारे नफ्स की कैफियत की ट्रेनिंग के लिए दी गई. The master से नफ्स लवामा को शरीयत का कोड़ा मारो. I mean, what a phrase. The reprobate self, the nafs which is totally out of control. कोई चीज भी उसमें दम है ही, it doesn't. उसको अगर राह रास्त पे लाना है तो वक्त पर नमाज, रोजे उसको करवाओ, उसको भूख से गुजारो, तब जा करके कुछ उसको समझ आएगी. It will become pliable, it will become plastic, it will become softer in its humility, in its obedience, in its listening. Otherwise, it is wild. It is like an animal. It is not human. Okay. From nafse lawama, we get to nafse ammara. Nafse ammara then is the commanding self. This is when at least some element is there before which it cannot raise its eyes. यह है नफ्से अम्मारा. नफ्से अम्मारा से मुराद यह है, कोई हो जिसके सामने आप नजरें उठा के ना देखें, जिसके सामने आपकी नजरें नीची रहे. Now it can be an energy within you, shame, remorse, when you do something stupid and then something in you says, how did you do this? How could I have been so stupid? What overcame me? Never again am I doing this. This is nafs ammara, this commanding self. When we are suffered through our impulse, through our misbehavior, when we have said unworthy words to a worthy being, even worse, we have thought unworthy thoughts about an innocent being, and we have shame, nadamat, ajizi. When we say, Ya Rab, ये शख्स तो मेरा इतना खैर खा था, लेकिन फिर भी मेरी बदनीयती का जो मैंने उसके ऊपर वहम डाला वो जेब नहीं देता था. What a pity. That is the qada of the nafs. From then onwards, the whole map goes on. I have not the time to get into this, but the suffering that changes lawama to ammara to mulhima is all I'm able to in this talk. And then we have the qada of the heart. Qalb. What would be, well, there we go. We all have lived enough number of decades of life in the world to know some people whom we trusted most were also quite capable of betrayal and quite capable of hurt. Those on whom we lavished so much love were the very ones who have betrayed our trust and broken our hearts. This is the qada of the heart. इसके भी और dimensions हैं. अभी इस एक example ही को. The qada of the heart. Oscar Wilde put it in his tradition, and other masters have copied it, repeated it different ways. How else but through a broken heart may Lord Christ enter in? How else but through a broken heart may Lord Christ enter in? Rumi puts it beautifully. It is through the cracks that the light shines through. अब लाइट को अगर नूर की एग्जांपल ले ले और उसको अल्लाह ताला की एग्जांपल ले ले, तो क्रैक्स जो है वो दिल ही के ऊपर जो टूटे हुए दिल पे पड़ते हैं, जिसके अंदर में क्रैक्स के जरिए नूर अंदर जाते हैं. A Sufi master from whom I have learned much and continue to learn much has said, ours is the path of the broken heart. ये रास्ता हमारा broken hearted लोगों का है. All of us are only able to guide and help others who are broken hearted because we too have been broken hearted. हमारा भी दिल टूटा है. हमें भी वो जिंदगी की कदह लगी है जिसकी वजह से हम ये एम्पैथी कर सकते हैं और मदद कर सकते हैं और मशवरा दे सकते हैं. कुछ नहीं कर सकते, थोड़ी सी दिलजुई कर सकते हैं. Only the broken hearted can heal or help or succor or give solace to the other broken heart. This is the qada. What can I say? From one point of view, you might say the ruh is the light of God within us. It is. So yes, from one point of view, it is the pure spirit, which cannot be true. at the level where this argument goes, ruh is defined like that. But here, when I say Ya Yuhal Insan, man, humanity, and when I say human beings have these four things, then the struggle and the suffering must include the soul itself, the ruh itself. And here, the example is very, very, shall we say, simple. There comes a time when you realize everything you do with your physical body, any zabt that you do to your nafs, any heartbreak that you endure, is nothing, absolutely nothing compared to that one moment of epiphany, that one moment of light, when you recognize that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's mercy has encompassed you every moment, and how sad all of your life would be, how bleak all of your life would be if that one moment hadn't happened. This is the qada of the ruh. I hope I have been able to capture this. Let me come at it from a very different time. Or since I was present at this moment when it was actually said, I will be able to excuse my a bit emotional, because it is a very emotional. This happened with Professor Abbas Husain Sahab, and a gentleman came, very, very sorrowful, because due to a car accident, he had lost his young son, about 14 years old. A young boy had been killed in a car accident. The father was in grief, and he had come to visit Professor Saab with some one or two other people. And it had happened recently. It so happened I was present, one or two other people. And this man, in tears, said, Baba, tell me, how can I continue to have faith in God when this sort of a thing he allowed to happen? Wow. Why did this happen? Wouldn't it have been better if somehow he had intervened and said, it was going on and on and on. With great humility, Professor Saab heard him. Listen, he ranted. And then he said, बेटा मुझे एक सवाल का जवाब दो, बाप हो तुम, मैं समझता हूँ, I understand, अबे बाप हो तुम, बताओ क्या वो जिंदगी पसंद करते जिसमें कि तुम्हारा ये नौनिहाल, ये साहबजादा, ये बेटा जिंदगी के 12 साल भी ना दे गया होता? क्या तुम ये पसंद करते? बड़ा brilliant. And that stilled him totally, and he just looked and said, no. He said, where are you? अभी का जो गम है, ये तो उससे दूरी का गम, लेकिन तुमने खुद ही कह दिया कि मुझे फिर भी ये पसंद नहीं कि सिरे वो होता ही नहीं, that he had never been born, that वो मेरा इस दुख से बचने के लिए वो सिरे से ना होता, तुम्हें पसंद नहीं. Get this, you still still cherish the good memories of your son. You still cherish the love you gave him and the love he gave you. You still cherish. And there lies the beauty of this. This is soul hurt. ये वो रूह की कदर है. I hope मैं आप तक ये बात पहुंचा. ये जिंदगी में एक ही हो जाए बहुत काफी है. वो जो दूसरे हैं वो बहुत है. जिस्म की थकावट रोज है. नफ्स का कुछ मारा लवामा के साथ जो मेहनत है वो मिनट टू मिनट. कल्ब के साथ जो तकलीफ है उसका ग्रेडियंट ईयर्स पर फैला हुआ, बरसों. लेकिन रूह के साथ जो कदा है वो एक या दो है जिंदगी में. एक या युहल इंसान इन्नका कादहुम इला रब्बिका कदहम फमुला. Oh, you person, human being, man, individual, man, woman, each one. This is the grandeur of the Lord. He who can command the sky to rend asunder, who can command the earth to spit out its burden. He has addressed each one of us and said, you are going to be. अब इसके बाद क्या ईमान की क्या बात रह जाती है. अब अगर परवरदिगार पर ईमान ना आए, अब अगर रसूल पर ईमान ना आए, अब अगर कुरान पर ईमान ना आए, वाह वाह. मेरी आज की काविश ये 6 आयात के ऊपर. मैं एक अदब की बात कर लूं. दिस इज अ सूरा विच कंटेन्स एन आयत ऑफ द कुरान वेयर सजदा इज वाजिब. I urge all of you, whenever you read this surah, please सजदा कलाम पाक जो कुरान का सजदा है वो जरूर कीजिएगा. अभी भी तिलावत के अंदर में आयत सजदा गुजरी है. जिन्होंने भी आयत सुनी है उन पर सजदा वाजिब है. ये आपने करना है. मैं अगली सेशंस का एक छोटा सा आपको टीजर दे दूं और आज के लिए हम दुआ गो हैं. आज के लिए वी कंक्लूड बिकॉज आई कैन नॉट गो बियॉन्ड दिस इनटू द न्यू theme that I have. Inshallah, tomorrow we will take a look at the good deeds and the bad deeds being given in the right hand and from the left hand and behind. पीछे से. ये बहुत जबरदस्त बात. और गुनहगारों को उनका नामा अमाल पीछे से दिया जाएगा और नेक बंदों को उनका नामा अमाल हाथ के राइट हैंड से दिया जाएगा. ये यमीन और ये जो ये उसके ऊपर कमाल का डिस्टिंक्शन. वी विल टेक अ लुक एट. वी विल देन सी हाउ फ्रॉम वर्स 16 more oaths are given. यानी कलाम पाक के अंदर में नॉर्मली कस्में जो वो शुरू में हुआ करती. Here is the only surah which contains oaths in the middle, which is why I mentioned that there are those who say that this surah should have stopped at verse 15 and a new surah could have been. But ये अजीब सी बात है. हमारी logic about the way the Quran is structured is so deep that such a weird idea is simply not even considerable. हम इसको गौर तक नहीं करते. So we will take a look at that, and then on the day after we will take a look at the stages. It is incredible कि यहाँ पर verse 7 में कदहन दुख यानी pain and toiling के बारे में एक generic बात की गई कि your path unto me is full of suffering. Lekin in the later part, we come upon verse 19, where he says, "You shall surely travel from stage to stage." Tabakan wa tabak. You will travel unto me in stage by stage. तो वो stages क्या हैं और उनका एक छोटा सा एक मैप, वो हमारा मकसद होगा on the 3rd day. इंशाल्लाह परवरदिगार में हौसला दे, September 15. So आज के लिए हम यहाँ पॉज करते हैं. Overview, extremely simple. It is the day of judgment. And on the day of judgment, each being, including the heavens and the earth, each being upon it who has been between these two, and humanity is asked, you shall be before your Lord. Ameen. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina wa Mawlana Muhammad wa ala ali Sayyidina Mawlana Muhammad wa barik wa sallim. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Since these are the days of Muharram, 19th, I believe we have Chelam on the 19th of September. So this is the last few days. In honor of the events of Karbala, I would like to offer Surah Kausar in memory of all the great ones and a Fatiha for all the loved ones of each of our families. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Inna ataynaka al-Kausar. Salli li rabbika wanhar. Inna sha'niyaka huwa lak. In the name of Allah, the merciful Lord of mercy, verily we have granted you the fount of abundance. Therefore, worship your Lord and offer sacrifice. Truly, the one who returns, the one who rejects, is the one who is cut off. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Malik yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina as-sirata al-mustaqim. Sirata allazina an'amta alayhim. غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. Bismillah. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا مولانا وعلى آل سيدنا مولانا محمد وبارك وسلم. Allah. Thank you very much, Ji. Inshallah, tomorrow at 9 o'clock. Thank you.